15 in numeracy, in reading, yeah, and we know numeracy comes off even worse than that. So 15 out of 26 haven't even reached the level 3. So there's serious alarm bells going off for this. Even the kids who look good aren't that good. 21 out of 26 below in maths. Yeah. Again, can I have a show of hands who's ever seen this for a class they've taught? 1, 2 people, 3 people. Here's another document that's worth going hunting for when it arrives in the school for staff to have a discussion about as a team. What does it show? And if you, as a leader in a group, were able to see, if you're able to see that there's serious problems perhaps in one class compared to other classes, you might want to trace what the experience has been for those kids coming up through the school. Have they all been, you know, sometimes we pass classes along, have they all been perhaps with one teacher for 2 or 3 years in a row, and there might be serious problems down there. All right. Now, this is the one that is about to come. I don't even know if it's going to look like this anymore. What I've done is printed out a rocket report for 3 kids who are all in the same class, same year level, as well as same class. Now, I want you to have a look. For some people, this will be, oh my God, so that's what a rocket report looks like. It's not as good as the rocket we started the day with. I want you to have a think about if the task, didn't I staple those? Yes, I did. You can take the staples out if you like, if you want to spread them out. If you were the teacher of this class and I decided what year level I'd make them, I have to have a think. And you were going to be doing, I know, I'm going to make them year 3. I don't know why I thought that. You were going to be doing, you thought, addition of 3-digit numbers in your class. Tell me how that might go with those kids and what you might need to make that lesson look like. Addition of 3-digit numbers to 3-digit numbers. And what you've got there is a bottom, a middle and an upper kid in my class. Tell me about them in relation to that task that I've just got out of Nelson. So it must be right. Someone who hasn't had a go before. You're nodding your head. Go on, how's it going to go for me?
How did it go? Quite disastrous, I'd say. For the lower group, I probably wouldn't show them that, first of all. Working on, like according to this, I think they sort of need the concrete, the tense brain, a lot of showing and trying, and the others would be ready to move on.
The other 2? You've got
the
like...
other 2, no. They're not ready either.
Okay.
So they'll be doing, they're not even on double digits.
Okay.
Oh, so, one, the last one. So I suppose they can do the double digit, but by using rolling dice and adding on like that. Or trading, like the MAB game, you know, when you trade.
Okay, yep.
Tens and so forth.
So nobody from that group of 3, if I've picked it, like we've said before, the deal is that you have a look at your rocket and you pick a bottom, a middle and an upper. If I'm Nelson, page 47, which is what we're up to, says that, I'm blown out of the water. I'm like, get off that planet and come back to reality. Okay, now, earlier we were shaking your head.
Oh, no, sorry.
Well, it's now.
I'm just going to put, I'm actually a secondary maths teacher as a coach. And as a secondary maths teacher, you know, none of this is in our training. And so when I would have kids at this level that would come into my year 7 class, I would just point harder and they would meet together. And I would keep telling people, can't you just point harder? And they're not listening.
Because they're really hearing impaired.
Of course it is.
It's not that they're not able to do it.
Or they're being lazy.
Yeah, it's frightening, isn't it? Frightening. Okay, now I've forgotten what it was, but I said earlier today, when I was up here, I said, now when we get to talking about the rocket, I want you to say about that. So whoever it was, I said that to, yeah?
Yeah, with the rocket report, one of the PLTs that's actually in one of the secondary schools I'm working with, we were having a discussion around some of the kids, and we'd looked at the class data, and there were a couple of students that were at the same level, and when we looked at their individual rock reports, they were at level C or something like that. And the classroom teacher was, in that discussion, was able to then sort of start to talk about, well, yeah, it's sort of, we think this is what the rock report's saying, oh, they're able to do this, they're at this level. But when, through discussion, the teacher was able to bring in evidence from those students' work from their class, he could actually start to say, yeah, but I think, well, from what I've seen in their work, the reason this student is at this level and hasn't sort of progressed is because of this. But the other student, it was a different reason, so that the reason why they were at that level and why they perhaps weren't progressing was quite different. And so his approach for each of those students was actually going to be different, even though on the rocket they're at the same level. So the rock report really provided a really good catalyst for that sort of discussion within the PLT, which was a really interesting sort of revelation to the group. So it was quite valuable.
And the lady next to you summed up by saying the stuff about that it's the conversation.
Yeah, I don't know if it's me, but that this is a starting point, and the idea is that this isn't the data, this is part of it, and it's a starting point for a discussion. And then there's really a requirement that as teachers you bring in other stuff from the classroom, your evidence of what you've seen, what they make, say, write or do, that's the to back this up, and to give you real information that you then use to set goals.
And Leanne, did you want to add something?
I was just going on about how, in a way, it's quite clever that while it's frustrating because you want more finite detail, it's actually quite clever because it forces you to dig deeper together to come up with more about the student, more about what those statements mean, more about everything, so that the discussion is what's helping move everything forward and you're pulling together as a team.
I think it also becomes a bit more individual than, getting the NAPLAN results where, okay, they're on level 2.5. So you say, okay, we're just going to look at what's in level 2.75 and not think about the fact that maybe they might be there, but there's still some other things that they need to work on.
Consolidate a bit more, yeah. Okay, so the whole point is around what Patrick's done is set up a situation that has just enough information to make us curious, but not enough information to give us all the answers. And it forces us to seek some evidence and try and justify why this kid is here compared to this kid, and what can I now do to move the kid on. And tell us, Leanne, about the reason I'm picking on that table is because we said at the start there's very few people have actually been to the Patrick Griffin stuff, whereas the people at that table appear to have been, about the beginning from the beautiful side of things. About
saying with what they know. Patrick Griffin keeps talking about what the students can do rather than what they can't do, which we do tend to focus on, in terms of, they can do this and this, but they can't do that, so I have to teach that. Whereas he talks about building on what they know to get them to what they don't know. Yeah. So trying to come at it from that rather than cramming in the don't know stuff, which would just build on what they don't know rather than going the other way.
Anyway, you'll take that and we'll take it under advisement. Does everybody get to go to the Patrick Griffin? How does it work?
Originally, I know at our school, learning leaders were chosen to go off because of the time release factor. So different people were chosen to be learning leaders to go off the numeracy literacy, and then the leadership, I think it was the AP, and someone else went off to the Patrick Griffin stuff, and went off and did his stuff, and it was a bit of a mishmash. And then about a year later, they said, maybe the same people should go to the same ones, because all of a sudden it started to become more integrated. And I think in the beginning they thought it was a little bit more separate than what it was. So I think that's why you get these patches everywhere in different schools, because different people have done different bits, and